What's going on, y'all? How are we doing? I ain't gonna cap. As of today, it's currently August 4th, 2026. It's been what, a year and a half since I've last uploaded on this channel, I think. I ain't gonna lie. It's been a minute. Nigga, it's been a long ass minute. Um, I never really, yeah, it's been in 4 years. I did my last upload was a Sinner's reaction, but in all honesty, I never really didn't want to stop doing reviews. It's just I had so much other like projects and not even well, not even projects, but other passions and like content I was doing, more so focusing on my streaming and things like in school and things like that, my job. So I never really, once you stop something, it's easier to just think to keep to stay not doing it than to actually keep going. You get what I'm saying? And so that's inevitably what happened. I just got really like laid back and I just stopped really caring. And the funny part is, I still avidly consume so much movies, like media, TVs, movies, like anime. Like I still actively consume so much stuff that it's crazy that I haven't came back to this channel because I have so much stuff that I watched, you know what I'm saying, and I haven't rated, and I think heavily about and critique heavily that I just don't talk about or upload. So starting today, I want to get back into that, but so that's enough of that. Let's get into my Odyssey review. I actually did watch the Odyssey. And I'm gonna start from the beginning. I absolutely loved it. I have a lot of good, a couple small, minor baby critiques, but for the most part, it was a pretty solid watch. I'm not even gonna lie. It really surprised me when Nolan first meant like when there was first whispers about Nolan making this movie. I was very intrigued. Like I was like, damn, is he actually gonna pull it off? Like, is it like I never really could put the story to screen in a way that wasn't boring. But before we actually get into a review, one thing I will say is that Nolan, like he surpassed my expectations of what I thought this would be. And I give him nothing but credit. I for surely really liked it. I mean, it for surely surprised me in a positive way. So shout out Nolan, bro. Shout out Nolan. I don't even know why I doubted him. He's one of the greatest ever. I'm not gonna lie at this point. But yeah. With that being said, let's start off with the good. Let's start off with the things I absolutely liked about the movie. First thing is first. Um, I saw the movie in Dolby. I know this was shot on I think what was a 70 millimeter film, IMAX, something like that. I think it was shot on like I know it's shot on IMAX cameras, but I don't know if it was strictly for 70 millimeter. But I know that that was the main thing. Go see it in the biggest screen possible. But I saw it in Dolby Cinema. That's a nice balance of sound, sort of interactive chairs, and then visual. Like the visuals are pretty good. So I think I don't think in terms of visuals I missed too much of the screen. From my perspective, it was an amazing experience. Again, the visuals look great. The actual dimensions of the film look great, and then the extra surround sound, the like built-in speakers into the ceilings really helped. Plus the chairs really helped immerse yourself during like especially during like the ocean or like no the Poseidon scenes and things like that. It really did make a difference, and I really did enjoy that experience. They boosted the experience by a long shot. I'm not gonna lie. And I saw Spider-Man in that same theater in that format. That's gonna be like my go-to format for big films from now on. So yeah. My next pro or like pray my next pro rides right into Dolby Cinema, and it'll be this movie is visually stunning. This movie is beautiful. I mean, just in terms of like just pure shit cinematography, pure just like huge amazing set pieces, great visuals. Like whether it was the scenes where they're in the ocean, like they're sailing, whether it's the scenes of Ithaca, I mean the visuals of Ithaca. I mean, when we're talking like the ransacking of Troy, that was it's ridiculous. If I and of course seeing that's all like physical, that's all like they were on a set and that was all built up and it's not so any sort of CGI specifically, like not no crazy amount of CGI in that surprised me because that is such it was like this movie was very beautiful. I mean, the scene when they pull up to Cersei's crib, the scene Calypso's ocean. I mean, the Calypso's island. It isn't inherently beautiful, but it did look nice. Like the island they were on was pretty. It was very pretty. This movie was very beautiful. I will give you that from a visual standpoint. It was amazing. I really was interested in that. And speaking of about visuals, or a little bit earlier when I mentioned the CGI, the fact that a lot of these big moments were strictly practical, like mostly practical was also really crazy to me. Whether it was the Legastronians, I forgot how to say, but how they got giants to play tall people, and then they had like short, like 5 footers play. Well, tall people play the Legastronian giants, and then have short people as their stunt doubles to make the height. Or whether it was Cersei's magic, or whether it was the Cyclops. Like it was a very like Wow, wow, I really gotta praise the visuals even more for that, and we're gonna get to Cersei's, that moment for in a second soon, by the way, but, let's talk next up, I wanna talk about the acting performances. The acting performances of Doom. Oh my God. When you like this cast was stacked and they all acted their asses off. But my favorite, I'm gonna be honest, and it sounds crazy, maybe I'm trying to be too different. Me personally, my favorite performance of the entire movie was Elliot Page. Elliot Page in his in his what was that, like 5 to 6 minute um monologue. Or I don't think it was 5 minutes, it might have been like 3 minutes, maybe even like 4 to 3, maybe that make more sense. But his monologue was absolutely captivating. I really, really fucked with that shit. Overly great. That was a great moment. I mean, that was a great monologue. The visuals along while Elliot was underwater. I mean, not underwater, under the sand. The visuals of them invading the underworld. I think that was underworld. I'm pretty sure was ridiculous. My jaw was on the floor. Matt Damon, everyone's praising Matt Damon, but I want to add on to that praise. I think Matt Damon did amazing. People are saying this is his best role. I don't. I still think it's probably Good Will Hunting. Me personally. But you know, Matt Damon did amazing. He did amazing. He absolutely, from my perspective, I feel like he embodied the what I imagine Odysseus to kind of have like his mannerisms and the way he carried himself. I feel like that was a like he played into Odysseus well, and he kind of elevated that role as well. I think he played that sort of torture artist very well in the movie. Um, in the books, I don't think he's that tortured, but I do think that I do like the portrayal. We'll get into the themes a little bit more, but I liked how Matt like again his Matt's portrayal of that tortured artist and that like sort of like I can't think of the word, but yeah, basically, I really enjoy his performance. I think Robert Pattinson's performance once again cements him as one of the best actors out right now. I think this nigga is just anything he is in, he will like give you his best, and his best is some of the best you'll ever see. I think that he played that just conniving piece of shit like so well. Everyone already knows the quote, but the little "somebody get these beggars out of here" is some of my favorite. Is one of my favorite lines of it might be like my line of of the year. The delivery, the deadpan stare, the consistent blinking afterwards. I thought that was hilarious. I saw the Odyssey twice, both times in Dolby, and that like sorry I had to flex that real quick, but that this was the funniest part. Like I mean that moment each time I just laughed no matter what. Tom Holland, I really enjoyed Tom Holland. I think that this was a good role for him. It is kind of interesting seeing him kind of like be a Marvel boy, even though I've seen him in other stuff. Like it's kind of it's just I low key went into it kind of nervous, worried that I wouldn't be able to see him outside of being the Marvel Spider Boy. But in actuality, he like of course as an actor is able to act and not just be typecasted as one specific role. Now, of course, he is playing the usual sort of trying to like the young adult trying to be mature and trying to grow into a role that's not ready for him. Like, you know, that's like the usual. But I do think that this role is a bit like he played it and carried himself differently than how he carried himself in other movies. I think that he was a standout. I think he did a great job. He did great. Anne Hathaway, I think Anne Hathaway did great. I think Hathaway did really good in her performance as well. Just she was very consistent in the movie. Like she captivated me. There wasn't a scene where I wasn't interested or where she didn't hold my attention throughout the entire movie. I really enjoyed her performance. I think her moment, her over the topness, her over the top delivery when she was talking to Telemachus about her about wanting Odysseus and like people I seen a couple people kind of critique the way she like the delivery of her like how outward and how like more so physical she was in her acting compared to how Telemachus or slash Tom was presenting. But I think it makes sense when you see that the throughout the entire movie and even before the movie starts, we got to think in her perspective, she's been waiting for her husband for 20 years, and now we're hearing that she basically has to say fuck him and move on. It's like that sort of resentment slash like frustration bubbles out, and you know that was a good moment for me. I think her emotion, even like when he in the flashback when he was leaving, I think it was really well done. Yeah, I really did enjoy it. That delivery it well. I think the Odyssey flows really well. I think the Odyssey flows is very consistent. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's a single moment where I'm bored. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a single moment where I was sitting here like, damn, like the hours, the runtime is 245. You feel the 245, but not in a way that drags. It's just like, okay, this movie is long, but there isn't a moment where I was like, boom. Now, upon rewatch, the first act did slog a little bit. It did kind of take me out of it, but that second to third act, absolutely, like, the third act is probably one of my favorite third acts in a couple, in a very long time. Great. I mean, just absolute action. I understand why the first act. I think the Odyssey is a very long story. You have to get it, like, you know what I'm saying. You have to make it palatable to people who don't know about the Iliad, to people who don't know about the book. You have to get them. It's basically a lot of exposition to get done. So I completely understand why the first act is gonna be as like kind of slow as it was, because you have to get a lot of information quick. But even then, I still fuck with it. Like, I still did enjoy it. I don't think that like the first act was bad. It's just like, if I had a critique, that's like, okay, cool. Like, after every watch, you kind of like, you kind of wait to get to the Cyclops part, because that's where things kind of heat up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it flows really well though, pacing wise. I really want to go ahead and get into the themes. I took long enough. I think the themes of this movie are are very well done. I think that this being sort of an unofficial trilogy, the Odyssey being an unofficial trilogy of like how Nolan views society or man or civilized or modern civilization, is very, it's a very interesting way to play at it. And the fact that has like this uh the Odyssey, Oppenheimer and Tenet or Interstellar, whichever way you want to play it, kind of have this sort of same sort of societal like perspective on society, and how we as a people, or one single man, specifically we as a people, but he headlines it with one single man, how one single person can be the downfall of the future or humanity, and how that person carries that sort of mistake or that sort of action, and how they can redeem themselves. I don't believe that Odysseus ever truly redeems himself, but I do think him coming to understand and coming to terms with the fact that he basically, by through his treachery and through his wanting and his selfishness to want to win the war, he literally upset society as we know it by creating the Trojan horse and ransacking Troy the way he did. And like, yeah, I think that Odysseus, them adding the fact that Odysseus did like his journey taking longer than it did is because his conscience telling him that he doesn't want to go home and eternally having to fight that battle. And that's why it took so long, because he needed this time to go through these different go through a personal journey as well as a physical one. I think that the different islands and different encounters are them being a physical manifestation of how the world views them, or how they're interacting with the world, was also interesting. Whether it was Cersei and her flipping like putting a mirror to them and saying, look at how you guys act, by trying to mask war as a reason to be these evil filthy animals, or how the Legostronians, I hope I can't keep butchering that name right, but how you guys have come to these different lands, or specifically even just Troy, how you came into Troy without even trying to converse, without even trying to come to some sort of conclusion. You came in with your swords and just slaughtered us. Or even the Cyclops, how again you didn't even try to speak, you didn't even try to talk. You walk into this person's land and steal their stuff and try to harm them without even speaking. You went to the Cyclops. Now, of course, he was attacking you. I'm not gonna act like you weren't attacking him, but the fact that you didn't even try to reason with him when you went into his shit, you know what I'm saying? Is a very interesting way to go about it. I think that was really interesting. Um, the Zeus's Law thing. I honestly, I didn't even mind the fact that they kept spamming the explanation of Zeus's Law. It's like nowadays, I think of nowadays the audience filmmakers treat the audience like they're dumb, but the audience isn't as smart as we think we are. So I think it is a pretty on brand to just having to keep hammering away home that the whole point of all of the failure of the Zeus's law, or the explanation of what Zeus's law is to show that you guys, they broke it, they broke Zeus's law, and that's what all this is really about. So I think that was a great choice. I didn't find it annoying in any way. I think each time it was mentioned, it flowed well. I think the score was really complementary. Ludwig continues to just show that him and Hans are in a league of their own. Him and Hans are really just the best two like are two of the best composers out. Ludwig Garrison, I really just I have everything. I have nothing but praise for him. Ever since I heard specifically the Sinners soundtrack alone was just crazy. But you have Sinners, Oppenheimer, Tenet, Black Panther. It's just like this nigga cannot miss. You know what I'm saying? You put this fucking Swedish man on any credit, and I know I'm about to get just pure ear sex. And this movie was absolute ear sex. Now, I don't think that this is gonna sound bad, and this isn't a knock. If I this is it's still a praise, right? If I had to compare every other score to this one, I don't. I think this score doesn't have that one that everyone can notice, but like doesn't have that one specific song or like soundtrack that's like, oh my god, this is from the Odyssey. But I think the obviously my like in terms of a noise or sound distinction, that Odysseus little flick I think is absolutely like that's gonna be something in pop culture for a couple years now. Like I'm not gonna lie, the arrow, not the arrow flick, but the bow flick, that pairing with the song in the background is gonna be something we hear slash see for a very long time to come. And I don't think that the bow arrow flick works if you don't have the score or that specific song that Louis was a part of. So I have to even the siren song. I think that the siren song was a very like that one was good. This was really good. I ain't gonna cap. It was really good. That's all I can say about that. Um, I really enjoyed the plot twist of the Odysseus's men being the river people or the sea people. I think that sea, not river, dumbass, but sea people. I think that throughout the entire like that was my favorite thing about the rewatch, specifically watching that part right there. I really was really like uh s- I enjoyed it. Go like first time you watch the review, you don't see all the small little moments of them mentoring the sea people and how they act, and then watching Odysseus's men and seeing how they act and saying I never put the two together. But then when you rewatch, you're like, oh wow, these niggas on bullshit. These niggas pulled up to that first island with the white with the old man talking about why did y'all run from us when y'all lit their shit on fire and are actively stealing from them? The fuck? So yeah, like hey, Jar Jar, man, great plot twist. Let's get into the supernatural. The supernatural, right? This is a pro and a con. I want to get into the con of it now later, but we'll get into the pro specifically. I love the what we got. I love the grounded supernatural, and I that Loki feels like an oxymoron because the whole point of the supernatural, like supernatural, sort of like the idea of a supernatural being, supernatural ability, supernatural sort of actions are supposed to be out of this world. They aren't supposed to be grounded. You know what I'm saying? And I will always agree, but I think for this movie, a more grounded approach worked a bit more for the way he was handling his story and how grounded it was, especially in his themes. I think that the way that like the Cyclops being sort of like a grotesque sort of like broken deep like a rebuilt like a mangled human corpse is beautiful. I think that like someone had mentioned that like the nose is like twisted and the eye is like here. So look, his face should be this way, but it's not. Like I think that that worked really well in terms of just feeling it. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it, but it felt really real. Like when I'm the first time I saw the Odyssey and I'm sitting in that Dolby Cinema, flex again, sponsor me. When I'm sitting there and I'm watching and like he walks in for the first time, I say, oh, that's real enough to where I can feel afraid. You know what I'm saying? It genuinely made me uncomfortable to watch that the little Cyclops nigga. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was creepy. Um, the Legastronians, that again, like overall, just the way they looked was really like they looked really fucking cool. No, okay, they look really fucking cool. Them giants look really cool. And then Cersei, that was like the body horror, like him deciding to incorporate like take Cersei's like magic and make it this sort of body horror torture is so fucking cool. When I watched it both times in Dolby IMAX, well, I mean in Dolby Cinema at AMC, when I watched it both times like that, and I was sitting here and I was just looking, like I was looking. The first time I saw it, I was with the bros, and the second time I saw it, I was with my girl. So I'm sitting there, and both times, no, flip it, my girl, then my bros. I'm just looking, and as the body horror moment is happening, I'm just looking over to my left, and like just smile like these because it looks so fucking cool. Like it looks so fucking cool, bro. And then to find out again that all this was practical and that that basically they made like a doll fused with clay and was able to just like she was able to like mold it and play around with it. I got a boner. Like that shit is so fucking sexy. I absolutely loved it so much. It was ridiculous. Um and yeah, let's get into my second to last praise of the movie, which is the third act and its payoff. I know I already mentioned earlier about the acts, but I think The third act just like bangs, bro. That shit just bangs, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like it just bang, like it just. It's one of those things that the whole point of the Odyssey is to get like you just you feel by the time you're getting like the longer you read the book slash watch the movie, you just feel and you just can't wait to watch like for Odysseus to get home. Like you just can't wait. And finally, when he's home officially, and he has his first reunion with Tom, Telemachus, or he goes through the dining hall area to get made fun of by Antinous and the fucking suitors, or when he's having a conversation in the one of the slaves. I think that's a slave, right? The white woman, the white old lady sees him and tends to his hit wound. It freaks out. It's just like, oh my fucking god! And finally, when a nigga officially gets to string his bow and flick that bitch back, nigga, oh my God, like I just, my pants was just full. My pants was full. Like they were just full, bro. Like I unleashed it everywhere, bro. That shit it just edged you for so long. And like Nolan looked you in your eye while he was stroking your shit. And it was crazy, bro. It was crazy. Oh my God. I just cannot, I can't, bro. I cannot, like, I just can't get enough praise about that third act. I loved it. And that was, yeah, bro. That was, like, that's all I can say about that. Um, yeah, and my last part about like, but I have two more things. And next part is about Zendaya or Nolan's decision about making Athena take the face of of a girl who had her head cut off, just like Athena statue was cut off, and sort of it was such an interesting decision to do because now it takes the idea in the book or this perspective in the book where Athena is kind of sort of watching over Odysseus and kind of stepping in here and there to where now it's like no, not only okay, she's still engaging with you and she still is kind of looking out for you and giving you advice, but she also wants to spite you because you tried the fuck out of her by cutting off her fucking statue. Like, what the fuck wrong with you? So yeah, now you're gonna see me until you figure your shit out for the next 20 years. I'm gonna torture you. I'm gonna give you these weird ass riddles that don't make no sense. I'm gonna stare you in your eyes, the same eyes that looked at you and begged you for help while your friends cut my head off. I'm gonna torture you and follow you. It was like it worked really well. I really enjoyed that. Like I really liked that as well. Now let's get into final my final compliment of this movie. Nolan, Nolan, listen, you are forever good in the hood. You are forever good in the hood. You deciding to bring Travis Scott in as a bard, and your explanation being that bards tell stories, and or stories were always used or was told through audio, through songs, through melodies, and you connecting that to that modern day rapper, and your decision not only connect it but to bring him in and to stand on it while this nigga was getting hate farmed by racist right wingers. Your decision to stand on that shit on an interview, nigga, you are forever good in the hood, nigga. You are safe. You are safe. You are so safe wherever you go. On God, all you gotta do is call me. I will be there in 20 seconds and you'll be safe, twin. Nolan, Nolan, really dap me, twin. I'm giving you dap my shake my hand. Nigga, that shit was so swag. A lot of niggas were like making fun of the Travis Scott decision, but that takes a certain amount, like that takes like it's like a respect. It's first of all such an interesting approach to modernize like the bar, but to go a step further and to find a connection with modern day and to connect it with rap, where nowadays rap is seen as this sort of like bullshit, no meaning, like just slop. When in actuality, it's art, and your decision to incorporate such a big import, like a huge movie and film with like our genre, like my art, like my culture genre is so fire, and I really fuck with it, bro. And you found a way to mold it, you found a way to make it flow without like feeling like you're like just glazing or doing it for brownie points. I really respect that, bro. I ain't gonna cap. No, I have one pro. I mean, one con. One thing I'm not a fan about this movie. If I only have one thing, one complaint. You ready? Nolan, where are my Greek gods, Nolan? Stop Christifying my fucking Greek gods, Nolan. Nolan, this ain't Christianity. This ain't the Abrahamic religions. We talking about Greek right now, twin. In Greek mythology, the gods exist. And I mean like they actively engage. They show their face. They have real deal conversations on Olympus. They real deal be kicking it. Why the fuck did I not see Poseidon? Why the fuck did I not see Zeus? Why the fuck did I not see Athena? Why did fuck? Well, I saw Athena, but you know what I mean. Why the fuck did I not see Olympus? I'm hating, bro. That's my only critique. I have to. I have to as a man. I gotta stand on it, bro. I gotta stand on it. I know no Nolan, I get it. You're not a fan, bro. I get it. Throughout your entire run, I completely understand. That's not your forte. You're not a whimsical guy. You're not a very fantastical guy. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, nigga. It's the fucking Odyssey. Get whimsy, nigga. Get fantastical, nigga. This is Greek gods. We talking about like this is like the like a real deal Greek display, like a real deal Greek fucking poet, like you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck you want to call this shit, Greek story, nigga. Get with the program. Where are my Greek gods, Nolan? Damn. But nah, troll no like no troll shit aside, like this movie was amazing, bro. This was a great watch. This was a great film. Again, from the acting to the themes to the cinematography to the score to the pacing to the visuals to the plot twist. Like everything about this movie was just so well done. I can't do anything but praise and respect Nolan and everyone who worked on this film. Shout out to Nolan, Christopher Nolan. I actively I fuck with you, bro. I'm not like I fuck with you, bro. You really made some shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie, you made some shit. I gotta respect it. I gotta respect that. All right. Without further ado, let's give it a rating, bro. Let's give it a final rating. I've been bullshitting this whole time. Let's give it a final rating. My final rating for this film is a 9.5 out of 10. Almost perfect film in my opinion. Thank y'all, bro. Thank y'all for watching. If y'all liked the movie, if y'all didn't like the movie, tell me one in the comments. I'll have some conversation. We can have some conversations. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. You have a wonderful night. It's 4 a.m. right now. I'm sleepy. I'm out.